Hello there everyone, it's B, and today I wanted to film a video that is commonly referred to as my vegan story, which has been quite requested, and I finally got the courage to sit down here and make this video, and you'll probably understand why it was a bit difficult for me. It's been almost 2 years since one morning I woke up and decided to go vegan, and I can't even think about how much this one dietary shift changed me as a human being. I learned so many mind-blowing facts about human health and nutrition as well, and I just wanted to share them with you guys. And also the fact that this shift didn't happen as easily as it might have looked on camera, and I've been through a lot of crap in this period of time, but I've never talked about it, so I decided to finally do that. A massive disclaimer, I'm not here to attack you or to make you feel bad about anything. I'm just here to tell you my personal story, and I think that if you come into this video with an open mind and an open heart, then we can have an awesome conversation. So let's start from the beginning, I guess, and that's how I ate before I was vegan. So before I went vegan, I ate a full-on, like, classic diet that everyone in my family ate, and I had meat, I had dairy, I had all of that, and I was never vegetarian in the transition period. I just went straight into vegan. I've always had one of those very childlike bodies that I almost looked like a boy. I had incredibly skinny arms, legs, all of that, and never had weight problems, but I started noticing my body changing, and I matured very late. Just noticed like, hey, I'm starting to gain weight. I don't like this. In this whole period of 3 years, even when I was vegan, my weight kept going up and down, and at one point in spring, right before I became vegan, I had a very stressful period. If any of you guys did IB, then you probably know how that is, like right before the exams when you have to hand in your essays. I stopped eating in general. Basically, I remember there was distinctly like this 1 week in my life where I was on an extreme like adrenaline rush just from how much I had to do, that I genuinely didn't eat at all. Like I ate maybe, I drank a cappuccino a day, ate maybe like a muffin or something in Costa, but the whole while I was just studying. And after that I noticed that I had lost a lot of weight, and that was right in spring of 2014, and I was like, hey, like this works really well for me. And then afterwards obviously your stomach shrinks, so you don't really want to eat that much, and I think that was the turning point that got me into the psychology of restriction, because before that I kind of just ate whatever I wanted. After that point, when I started eating normally and wasn't under that much stress anymore, I noticed a rapid weight gain, which is quite natural after you restrict your diet for so long. And I was like, no, but like this worked, so it means that I just have to eat less. So I started eating less, and all that it gave to me was constant cycles of binging, and that made me feel guilty and sad. If any of you have binge eaten before, I know a lot of people don't even know how that is, but basically not in control of your own body and your own thoughts and your own mind, and you just eat everything that you see in your way, and it's horrible. I started reading about veganism, and I found it through Freely the Banana Girl. I think that was the initial one, but then I read this book called Skinny Bitch that I don't even remember how I got to it, like somewhere through YouTube. Like that was a wake-up call. I thought it was really cool. I read it all, but I didn't really know anything much, not the ethical side, not the health, anything. I just knew what they said in Skinny Bitch, and I believed it. It was also one of the best decisions, if not the single best decision of my life. Around the same time, I started watching Freely the Banana Girl, who in her videos promotes that you can eat as much as you want of everything that you want if you're vegan. Obviously plant-based whole foods, but me in my mind, I was like, hey, that links with my binging habits. I just had this constant argument in my mind for I think probably 1 year and maybe 3 months between calorie restriction and I can eat as much as I want, which basically led me to trying to still being vegan, eat quite little, but then realizing, hey, I eat too little calories, and then binging. But my binging and my eating everything that you want as Freely advertises it, it didn't come from natural whole foods and things. Pretty much binging on things like muesli. That was when I got myself into a horrible place in my life, because by these habits and by this restriction and then binging, I started purging, and I think that was a part of my entire summer of 2014, and then some of the fall is I started throwing up after these binges, and it kind of became a normal thing, and it's quite difficult to talk about it because I had an eating disorder. here I am, me, the happy person that you would never have thought that would have gone through something like that. And I've been hiding it for a long time because that only stopped, like fully stopped, I think about 4 or 5 months ago, because I kept on having these really odd eating behavioral habits, and yeah, so that's what happened. Obviously a habit that wasn't very easy to let go of. I realized that I'm just damaging my body so much, and I just thought, like, what am I doing? Why am I in this constant fight with food? I mean, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that like my recipes and my what I eat in a day and all of that, they're all very clean and very good. That was, I'd say, 50% of the time. The other 50% I either didn't eat for the entire day and then binged, or ate crappy foods and processed stuff. I kept restricting myself, and it's not just about restricting calories, it's about restricting your food choices. I kept jumping from this one extreme lifestyle of you can only eat fruit to like raw veganism, then to this like super duper high carb veganism. I just kept jumping from one to another. I had a really extreme opinion about not eating oil. I had a really extreme opinion about not eating grains, this, that, the other things. Making rules in my head because I thought, hey, I need rules, I need guidelines for this. When in reality, it's all so much simpler. 5 months ago when I started this year of uni, that I think I finally got a hang of it. I stopped craving food like a crazy person, and all of that was because I finally let go of the idea that I need like a certain diet. Freelies of the world and these people who write ebooks, like, you can learn a lot from them, but they can also bring you into such a weird place psychologically because it's still kind of about restriction. The way that they promote it, especially like this guideline of you having to eat 2,500 calories a day, or you having to eat this much and that much fruit, I let go of that. I started eating intuitively. I stopped looking at food as this like forbidden apple and like, oh, I can't have that or something bad will happen. Sometimes if I want to treat myself, I will, and it's fine. And that's when I genuinely noticed that my body started changing. At the end of summer 2015, I had gained, over my traveling and all of that, 6 kilograms, which is quite a lot. And over a matter of, I think, 3 months of being in uni and not restricting my calories at all, just walking a lot and eating however much and anything I want, a lot of vegetable chowders, soups, potatoes, grains, legumes, all of that, I lost all of those 6 kilos, which is quite amazing in my opinion. All I can say after all of those ups and downs and like really weird experiences and getting myself into a freaking eating disorder, that I know that a lot of girls nowadays struggle with. If you're one of those girls, you're not trapped in that. You can get out of it, and it's not that hard. Just stop thinking about food as the enemy. Eat until you're full, until you're satisfied, and don't listen to the freelies of the world who say that you need to have 3,500 calories if you're vegan. No, like, if you don't spend that much energy in your everyday life, if you don't run freaking marathons every day, why would you need that many calories? Because that is eating in excess. It means overeating, and I don't think any animal or living being in nature would overeat if it didn't have the need to overeat. If you eat intuitively, you're gonna eat the right amount that your body needs. If you're gonna count calories, whether it's to eat less calories or if it is to eat like more calories, as all of those so-called diet gurus are promoting, just gonna turn into extra weight. They're gonna make you feel lethargic, heavy, tired, because your body will have to spend so much energy on just digesting that food. And first of all, it's expensive, and second of all, it's wasteful. So listen to yourself. So some benefits that I've personally noticed after going vegan is, first of all, digestion. That's like a #1 thing. Before I was on a vegan diet, I obviously ate meat-based or fish-based food. I think I went #2 to the toilet probably once in 2 days or something along those lines, which is so little. A piece of meat, it's like someone's rotting corpse. There's so much acid in that meat that needs to be like balanced out. The pH balance needs to be restored, and it's so difficult to just digest all of it and get it out of your system that it takes really, really long. And ever since I've been on this like normal plant-based diet where I mostly eat like a lot of whole foods, starches, grains, and sometimes indulge on like something unhealthy, I feel like my body's working like this well-oiled machine, because what I get into me, it goes out of me 4 times a day, I think, something along those lines, which some people would think is insanely a lot and unhealthy, but in fact it just shows that your body digests properly. I think that correlates quite a lot with skin issues, because before I went vegan I had quite a lot of, like, it was never tragic, have had quite a bit of acne like on my forehead. I've noticed that my skin has become a lot better. It has become a lot clearer, a lot more even. And third thing is very like on a level of karma and altruism, doing something good for the planet through just your eating habits and your consuming habits. And it's not that I wake up and that's the first thing that I think about in the morning, but it's just like, it's like a long-term like good feeling that you have, that you're not contributing to anyone dying or being in pain. Okay, and I do not want to hear comments about plants having feelings, because plants don't have a nervous system, okay? Plants do not have feelings. If you cut off a strawberry, it's gonna grow back. If you cut off a leg from a cow, it's never gonna grow back. Also, eating clean and good foods and eating enough. I know that this is a problem for a lot of girls, obviously. If you are under-carbed and if you're under-eating and if you're restricting your calories, you're not gonna have enough energy. You're gonna be thinking about food all the time, and you're not gonna have enough joy in your life just because food is going to be such a massive thing you're just going to focus on. Once you let go of that, you have a lot of energy because you're feeding your body enough with good food. You're going to feel so much happier, lighter. You're going to have more energy to run, walk, do sports, do crafts, be inspired by things. Obviously links with the health factor, because if you're getting all of your nutrients, which by the way, yes, you can easily get all of your needed proteins and nutrients from plant sources. I will leave a lot of links down below that you can get some inspiration from about this. And in the long term, there are so many cases of a whole foods plant-based diet preventing and completely turning around cancer patients' lives, blood diseases, and lowering cholesterol, obviously, because there is no cholesterol at all in plant sources. Yes, my blood test as well. It's perfect. Like, everything is in the perfect balance, is where it should be. A lot of my opinions on things were changed by just beginning to read a lot of books and scientific research and documentaries. I think it was the beginning of 2015 that I first watched the movies Earthlings and Cowspiracy, and those two documentaries completely changed the way I think about nature, about food, about animals, because I was like, fucking hell, like, they go through so much trouble just for someone to like eat a piece of cheese or something. Like, it's just not worth it. Cowspiracy is an amazing documentary about the implications of animal agriculture and mass fishing on the environment. This is a really nice fact. So 1.5 acres can produce 37,000 pounds of plant-based food, versus the same amount of land can produce only 375 pounds of meat, which is nothing. These cows, they eat shit tons of grain. That grain could be used to feed people. All of us have such egoic minds when it comes to food and nutrition. You literally just eat food to get energy, to be able to survive. It doesn't really matter as long as you're getting all the right nutrients, which veganism can provide. That 1 minute of your indulgence of, for example, a steak or a milk chocolate, like, you're indulging in it, but how much pain that created for someone else. Is it really worth it that you're gonna eat it and it's literally gonna just go out through your other end at some point? But for that, some other creature had to die. It had to suffer. It was raised in absolutely horrible conditions. Then it was tortured. And then it was just killed. Only for you to, for 1 second, enjoy that like tasty bite of, I don't know, Peking duck, or like, that's for some reason the first thing that comes to my mind. That is you, all of this, and get into the world. Try to get to know nature, try to get to know animals, everything around you. Live in symbiosis with it. And this is a psychology that can be applied to relationships with people, to anything. To be honest, it's human nature to think about yourself. But as being very developed creatures, it's also in our capability to think about the weaker and think about the ones who suffer and to make logical decisions based on that. A good feeling in my personal experience is that I have now turned my entire family vegan. Like, my mom is vegan and my stepdad is vegan, and he was before one of the biggest meat eaters that you could imagine. Like, a lot of my friends have been influenced by it. One of my friends at home has been vegan for a while, and another one of my friends at uni, I talked to her about a week ago, and she was like, hey, you know, like, I followed tons and tons of vegan Instagrams and all the food looks so good and blah blah blah. The last thing that I quickly wanted to address, just because I know that there's a lot of talk about this, is leather bags, leather goods, shoes, all of that. About 4 months ago, I decided to not contribute my money to this industry at all anymore. So I am not buying any leather shoes, any leather bags, leather anything. Also, I'm not buying any more non-cruelty-free makeup, but here's a Prada leather bag. This bag is about 10 years old. My mom gave it to me because my old bag that wasn't leather broke, so I have this bag now and I wear it. Another leather bag. This is a Louis Vuitton with leather handles that I got for Christmas 4 years ago, obviously back when I wasn't vegan. I have a lot of leather boots and shoes like Dr. Martens, and my opinion on this is that instead of being wasteful and buying unnecessary amounts of more and more like fake leather goods to replace all of my existing leather ones, I might as well just wear these, not spend any money, get all the use out of them I can. I mean, those Doc Martens boots, they're probably not gonna last me forever, but they're gonna last me for a long time. I might as well just wear those ones until there are holes in them or something, until they're used up, and then I can throw them out for good and not look at them ever again. So I'm not contributing my money to the industry anymore, but I am wearing what I have and what my mom has in her closet. I think I have addressed everything that I wanted to talk about in this video, and another thing that I want to note is, guys, stop judging everyone else around you about what they do and what they don't do. And if you see that someone is trying to make at least a little bit of an impact and do something, little goes a long way, and doing something small is always better than doing nothing. Even if someone's transitioning into vegetarianism, it's awesome. Seriously, tell them that they're doing a great job, because even if you're not like fully vegan, completely cruelty-free, all of that, if you're doing at least something, it's already better than doing nothing. If you're vegan, for example, yourself, and you have friends who are trying to be, praise them for every step of the way, because that praise is going to create more positivity and it's going to move them towards a better lifestyle. Whereas if you're gonna just judge them for what they're not doing instead of praising them for what they're doing, it's just gonna discourage them. Even you, the viewer, for example, if you're not like a vegan already and you don't want to go all the way, do something little every day and it's gonna change so much in the long run. There is so much pain and suffering and hunger and wars in the world that I think that arguing about people's eating habits and if they're not vegan enough for you, it's just a pointless waste of negative energy. So that is all I wanted to say, and thank you so much for watching. I really love every single one of you guys. I can definitely say that a lot of you have taught me so much and helped me in so many ways just through commenting things and giving me new information about stuff. Hell, like even with that stupid Angora sweater situation, like now I know where it comes from. Like it's opened my eyes. You guys have been part of this whole thing that I've been going through for this entire time. Definitely wasn't easy and was bumpy on the way. I love that I have this awesome community that I can talk to and that would want to listen to me and teach me something or learn something from me. I really hope that you did learn a couple of new things in this video and are now going to be more conscious about yourself and your surroundings. Yeah, thank you a lot for watching. I will see you in my next video, and goodbye.